Protect your DNA. BioPQQ can promote formation of new mitochondria. Infowarsstore.com.
This weekend, we were greeted with the unfortunate news that a man has died. Justice Scalia was found dead this weekend in a Texas resort. And to tell you a little bit about the guy, later on we'll have a bunch of guys in the crew give you their takes on the situation, but a little bit about the man himself. He was an Associate Justice of the Supreme Court of the United States from 1986 to his death recently here in 2016, and he was appointed by President Ronald Reagan back in 1986. And as I said, we'll have many of the guys on to give their takes on his recent death. Now, he was a very strong pro-gun proponent, and now we have another guy, Mr. Crapo. He is a senator out of Idaho, and he has filed legislation to protect the Social Security beneficiaries from losing their Second Amendment rights. And he has filed Senate Bill 2495 to prevent the Social Security Administration from using determinations about the management and payment of an individual's benefits, his office said in a statement. So basically, they're coming after your firearms any which way they can. If they can't do it by executive order, they're going to do it by eliminating ammunition. If they can't do that, it's going to be the magazines, or they're going to say you're incompetent at the VA if you go to H&R Block and have somebody help you with your taxes. And they're coming again with the Social Security Administration. So good luck to you, Mr. Crapo, and hopefully you'll get your legislation passed. Now, I meet a lot of people when I talk about foreign policy. They have this very sucks for them kind of attitude. You know, they'll see, a church or a wedding party get blown up overseas and like, oh, it sucks for them. I'm like, well, you understand those policies could come home at any point in time. Because yes, we do have drones, things like that flying the U.S.-Mexico border, U.S.-Canada border. And I don't want to see that type of thing happen here. And it's not that I'm expecting it to happen tomorrow, but I'm saying when you just sit back and let it happen, and other people, it eventually comes to you. And now we see Russian airstrikes destroy Doctors Without Borders-backed hospital in Syria, activists say. And basically, the Russian warplanes are being blamed for carrying out what has been called a deliberate attack on two makeshift hospitals and schools in northern Syria Monday that killed nearly 50 people, according to the United Nations. Doctors Without Borders said in a statement that the hospital was hit 4 times in at least 2 attacks that were minutes apart. Also, that a third raid hit a school in a nearby village, killing 7 and wounding others. And of course, I definitely want Russia to be held responsible for these actions if it turns out that it's the case, and it's a good chance that it will be the case. But let us not forget that the U.S. has done similar things in Afghanistan. And I'm not talking about the blowing up the wedding parties and all that. That's a whole different issue. If you guys recall last October, I believe it was, Doctors Without Borders had one of their facilities hit in Afghanistan courtesy of a U.S. airstrike. And then a U.S. general came out and said basically it was a human error that caused the hospital to be attacked. And they said they're going to try to make up for it and do better next time. And that's the deal about it. Like I said, these are jets. We see a lot of inaccuracy with drones, but even when you have with drones, but when you have your jet pilots who can't hit their targets, that's a very troubling thing. And I'm not knocking the jet pilots. I'm not saying that they're incompetent. I don't believe they're incompetent. I believe these guys are hitting the targets that they're told to hit. So it comes down to a human error, yeah, but it's not the human error of the pilot. I think it goes back even further than that, to the human error of the people giving out the orders in the first place. And it's not just the military does this. You see similar things in SWAT team raids, right? They'll go to a raid of somebody's house that's used to live there, or they go to their mom's house, or just has horrible information, show up to some innocent lady's house, or blow up some kid's face with a flashbang grenade. It's like, oh, well, sorry, sucks for him. He shouldn't have been there. That's basically how they treat a lot of these things, and it definitely needs to stop. Now, let's talk about how they're trying to stop people's First Amendment right here in the state of Texas. Now, I've been to the University of Texas several times, and I've met many interesting people. And I do respect people who go out and protest, even if it's something that I don't agree with. Like, I see abortion activists out there. I don't support abortion, but I do support people who are willing to give up their Saturday afternoon to go out and march for whatever they think is an important cause, or contact their legislators. But now at the University of Texas, they're citing people for offending others. And we see a street preacher has actually been cited for just talking to people out on the street.
Hey, go ahead. All right, so basically what I was saying earlier, we had somebody that was offended by the gestures you're making. And that's our job, is to make sure that that doesn't happen, because these are students that's walking in this mall, like right here. I know you're not on campus, but you're right on campus offending students on the campus. So the job here is to write you up as a citation, disorderly conduct, for offending someone.
Does freedom of speech protect offensive speech?
Does freedom of speech do what?
Protect offensive speech?
It doesn't matter if freedom of speech. Someone was offended. That's against the law. I don't want to argue with you.
Okay.
It's against the law.
Sorry, can you say that again? Is it against the law to offend somebody?
Yes.
Okay. So why? I mean, I thought freedom of speech was to protect.
I gotta get your ID, man. I mean, I don't mind you doing the camera, but you have to work with me like I'm working with you. So could you give me your ID?
Okay.
Now, in other campus news, we see that a university is telling students to report incidents of discomfort to campus police. Now, I don't know what the situation is on this particular campus. I'm not going to judge the kids or talk bad about them, but I just know from my own personal experience being in college, the few times that I had, an issue with somebody, and they were very few. Most of the time it didn't even involve race. It's just, me and another guy just disagreed on whatever. I just politely told the guy that he could go fly a kite, usually up his rectum, and then go fornicate with his mother. Now, I was much more profane back in those days, but the point I'm making here is I didn't get the school involved and, try to have, big civil suits and all this other stuff. It wasn't an issue between me, the person, and the school. It was an issue between me and that person. But now we see that they're asking members of the community to speak up and report alleged incidents of discrimination and incidents of discomfort regarding observed or experienced interactions of intolerance. And they say that there's a lot of microaggressions going on against students of color. Once again, I'm not at the school. I'm not sure what the situation is. Maybe that is a big deal, but, when I had my own instances, it wasn't me versus the school, it's me versus that individual, and we were able to squash it without getting the school involved.
Clean, pure drinking water. You can't survive without it. But where do you get it? Alexa Pure Pro is a brand new, groundbreaking, gravity-fed water filtration system that is like no other. The Alexa Pure Pro transforms water from virtually any fresh source into clean, healthy drinking water, pairing the unprecedented superfiltration power of an all-new gravity block core with a hybrid chromatic shell. It removes up to 99.999% of impurities, including bacteria, viruses, fluoride, disinfectants, volatile organic contaminants, and hormones. Filter capacity up to 5,000 gallons. Stainless steel construction. Easy assembly. Low maintenance. Replacement filters are simple to install. And now, as part of an exclusive limited time introductory offer, you can save $20 off the retail price and get free shipping. This is a limited time offer, so order your unit today and receive free shipping and $20 off. Go to InfoWarsStore.com or call 888-253-3139.